Well, greetings. The sun finally came out for a while today, so I got on my trike, tried to figure out where I wanted to go, and then I said, hey, it's Memorial Day and it's a good time to go down to the beach and see what I can find. So come along with me, let's go see what I can find. Well, the fucus is growing pretty thick. It's actually an edible seaweed. From now on until May and June's a good time to harvest kelp and seaweed here in Sitka. Lots of varieties you could try. And again, when the sun comes out a little bit, so do the little crabs. I don't know what the name of this crab is, but cute thing. And there's something about steam rising above something. Makes an interesting video. There's steam rising above fucus and mussels. In the summer during low tide, Sitka beaches are just full of all kinds of sea life. Here's some green algae. Looks like it's bubbling away, but it's not. Kind of pretty looking that way. Actually, it's tidal water coming in. I have no idea what this thing was. Look at that. Anyway, it's kind of cool the way it's kind of moving in the current here. I know there's a big chunk of moray, I think it's seaweed. Of course, what would a Sitka beach be without sea cucumber? These things have actually are edible. You could strip meat out of the inside of them. A lot of people like them. Like everything else found on the beach, tastes like clams. I have no idea what this is. Some kind of red algae or something. No idea. During low tide, a lot of flies and bugs show up. I kind of wonder if they live in the water or live on the land. I presume they live on the land like most bugs. Some kind of little fly. I rolled over a big rock and found all these little snails under here. They're all about 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. I have no idea what they are, but they're pretty small. Here's another group of snails. On some kind of fungi, or I don't know what it is. It's kind of gooey stuff on the rocks, that's all I know. The rocks are covered with this kind of a slime mold or something. I used to know what this stuff is, but I can't remember anymore. All crabs molt, and here's a skin left over from a crab. Not sure the variety. Well, after further examination, I see there are still pieces of meat and gills and so forth in this crab here. So this is not a molting skin from a crab. This is a dead crab. Somebody ate it. Well, at least most of it. I've seen a lot of land otters in this area eating crabs. One of the more numerous crabs on the beach are these black claw crabs. I guess they get their name because they got that little black on the end of their claws. This one's kind of moving off. Anyway, this is a favorite food of Alaska brown bear. They like to come out here and roll a rock over and catch these little crabs. This one here, he's scurrying for safety. Oh, he's getting a little defensive here. I better leave. The big fat boy on the right, I think they call a lug worm. I'm not sure what the name of the one on the left is squirming around. One of the more numerous small fish are these little sculpin running around in the shallow water. Kids like to come down to the beach and catch them. They're a fun little fish. I have absolutely no idea what this is. It may be what they call an eel fish, or I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me what this is. First one I've seen. I found a whole little big school of salmon fry. I don't know if these are or king salmon, but they're right along the shoreline here in the ocean. When we have a 1 or a 2 foot minus tide, it's a good time to see these green sea anemone. Sometimes you can find a red one. I'll see if I can find one for you. I have no idea what these things are. Look like little nipples on breasts. Another shore crab. During low tide, you'll see a lot of ravens and other birds going after clams. Hi, here's one of those great big sun stars or sea stars. About 16, 18 legs to it. Also, you can see where its stomach is, where it protrudes out and grabs clams and eats them. Here's some of that laminera kelp. Anyway, a lot of people like to eat this. I guess you collect it and dry it. Well, it's pretty good stuff, I hear, but I've never tried it. Here's another weird item sticking up through the mud. No idea what that long thing is. If somebody knows what it is, tell me what it is. I've only seen one of these things. Lots of sea cucumbers on the beach. You'll never go hungry if you like to eat these things. They're everywhere. Now here's a small sea urchin. People eat these too. They eat the eggs. I've never tried them, but a lot of people like them. They're also a favorite food of sea otter. These little sea urchin are kind of prickly little buggers, but you can slice them open to get to the eggs. Another worm on the beach. A lot of different worm-looking critters live there. I have no idea what this one is, but he's burrowing into the ground. Don't like the sun, I guess. Here's another green sea anemone. You poke them a little bit, they kind of close themselves back up. Here's a Dungeness crab I found on the beach. Actually, it's big enough to be illegal to eat, I guess. But I left him alone. I was fascinated by his mouth. Look at the way that thing moves. Yeah, that crab is not going to stick around. He don't like me. With the extreme low tide, it's a good time to be out collecting kelp. There's another critter scurrying off. I used to know the names of these things. Of course, most of them have those Latin names. I never did take Latin in college. Okay, what is that? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure these are hermit crabs. They're not very big, these are real small ones. One of the favorite foods for the locals in southeast Alaska are these, what they call chiton. And you can kind of just peel them off the rocks and scoop out the meat. When I attended college in Juneau, I had a friend, and her and her sister used to go down to the beach and peel the meat out of these things and eat them. Well, there's some multicolor for you. Most of that there, I think, is a type of algae. Comes in multiple colors. Here's another strange looking algae. I had a book that identified beach critters like this and algae, but I misplaced it somewhere and I don't know where it's at. This is what they call a horse mussel. Now, most mussels you shouldn't eat because they're the first thing to get that parasitic poisoning. Here's a horse mussel next to a blue mussel. Like I said, a mussel is something you probably should never eat off Alaska Beach. They're the first things to get the parasitic poisoning. Here's some kind of a variety of kelp that form these little air sacs. They got air inside them. They're really weird looking stuff. Here's a back bay full of eel grass. Whenever you got eel grass like this, you know you've got a pretty safe and secure environment. Things are healthy. Here's a whole bunch of sea urchins. little baby ones. They're all about an inch or two across in size. Not very big. This is what they call red crab. You can find quite a few of these around. I think this is another member of the sea anemone family. Sometimes when you're out hiking on the beaches in Sitka, you'll find this stuff. What it is baleen from a humpback whale. When you've had an extreme low tide and the tide changes, the ocean starts to come back pretty quick. When the tide does start to return, you want to become very aware, because you don't want to become trapped by a rising tide somewhere. Found another sea cucumber in the eel grass. When you examine the eel grass closely, you'll find a lot of other little critters living in there, like this snail. Well, here's some more stuff. I don't know what it is. This is real interesting. Look at how well that little flounder is camouflaged on that sandy bottom down there. Now this is real interesting. Many small fish like this fish is like 3 or 4 inches long, can actually appear to look transparent. I'm not sure if it's a flounder or a baby halibut. Hey, here's another chiton on the rock, a different colored one. I have no idea what this is, but I bet the kids would have a good time watching and playing with it. Looks like a living magical rope or string or something. What a thing. Whatever that thing is could pass as an alien in a movie. Look at the way that thing is squirming around. Looks like a monster. This crab here is a ivory or white spider crab. I've never seen one bigger than this. They're pretty small little buggers. One of the more fun things to find is one of these Blemmyes eels. Kind of pretty looking things up close, but kids like to look for them and find them. They squirm around. Also, they like to play with starfish. A lot of fun turning a starfish upside down and watch it. This is what they call a red leather star. But look at all the different colors of seaweed and kelp. You can find a lot of things on a southeast Alaska beach. Best time to view all the animal life is probably May and June, when we have our lowest tides. Most low tides happen during the morning. Get yourself a good beach identification book about all the different animals and seaweed and so forth. Don't lose the book like I did mine. These beaches are a great place to take kids and a family outing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be bringing many more. So if you haven't had a chance to watch my others, just check out my YouTube channel. Until later, well, I'll see you later.